Let's cut to the chase. There's something waiting for you tonight. Something they've kept from you, silenced for centuries, hidden in the lost lines of forbidden texts, veiled beneath symbols most dare not decipher. And no, it isn't superstition. It isn't child's play. It isn't a TikTok curiosity. We're talking about an ancient secret, a forgotten ritual involving none other than Hermes Trismegistus and a spoon. Yes, you heard that right. A spoon under your pillow. It sounds absurd, even ridiculous. But stay with me, because once you understand what it actually activates, you may never sleep the same way again. They hid this from you because it's too powerful, and because the simple terrifies people. We expect the sacred to come draped in robes, incense, and esoteric chants. But what truly transforms is often so direct, it's hard to accept. Sleeping with a spoon under your pillow is not a trend or a prank. It's a key that opens a door within you that you've ignored your whole life. Do you know why you feel stuck? Why each night when you turn off the light, part of you stays awake and restless, as if someone or something is watching you from inside? It's because you've lost touch with the invisible, because you've stopped listening to symbols. Hermes never stopped speaking. It's just that nobody remembers how to hear him. But tonight can be different. Tonight, if you place a simple spoon under your pillow, you might begin to remember, not your dreams or fantasies, but something far more dangerous, who you were before you forgot. And you've felt this before, that sense that the world is a stage, that things aren't as they seem, that something lies just behind the veil, that nagging suspicion that you're being deceived, not by lies, but by omissions. It's true. They've built a mental cage of partial science, half-truths, mediocre explanations meant to make you forget that you too are a symbol. Hermes knew this. The thrice great master of mysteries did not write for everyone. His words were sealed, buried in metaphors only those who could see without eyes would unravel. Among those teachings was this: a minimal practice hidden in plain sight, a ritual that seems nonsensical at first glance: sleeping with a spoon. Why? Because metal holds memory, because the subconscious responds to symbols, because when the body sleeps, the soul awakens. You won't find this in modern books, in self-help manuals, or in guru podcasts. This predates all that. This is psychic alchemy, spiritual psychology, quantum reality, long before those terms existed. It all begins when you stop asking, "What's the point?" and start experimenting for yourself. Remember those nights when you had odd dreams that haunted you for days? Times when you felt someone speaking to you in your sleep, but you couldn't recall the words? What if those weren't coincidences? What if they were instructions? And what if every night is training you, and you've been missing the lesson because you didn't know how to activate the connection? Here comes your first dose of reality. Nobody is going to give you permission to wake up. Nobody is going to explain the symbols around you. You'll have to tear through the veil on your own, and what you find on the other side won't be pretty or comfortable, but it will be real. Once you cross, there's no turning back. Sleeping with a spoon under your pillow is a silent act of rebellion, a challenge to the paradigm, a mockery of those who believe the sacred needs complex structures. It's a message to the universe: I'm ready. It's a signal to your unconscious that you're about to cross a threshold. It's a plea to Hermes to remind you who you were before they turned you into what you are. And here's the uncomfortable truth. You already suspected this. Not in these exact terms, but you felt there was something more, a different way to use the night. That sleep could be more than rest, that it could be entry into another layer of reality. You just didn't know how. Now you do. The spoon isn't just metal. It's the symbol of something you've forgotten. It represents the channel, the transmitter, the silver thread between what you dream and what you are. When you place it under your pillow, something in you activates. Not an external magic, but your own internal system reconnecting. Your soul remembering its original language. Don't get excited just yet. What you'll discover won't always be pleasant. The forbidden isn't necessarily dangerous. It's what breaks the official narrative and what can't be controlled. That's why they hid it. Whoever delves into this mystery stops obeying. Hermes wasn't a god or philosopher. He was a bridge between human and divine, between logic and madness, and you're called to do the same. But first you must pass through the first door, and that door, absurd as it sounds, opens tonight with a spoon under your pillow. The question isn't whether it works. The question is, will you dare to try? If you do, there's no going back. Lucid dreaming begins, messages arrive, synchronicity sparks. You start seeing numbers, symbols, connections, where before there was only chaos. It's not that the world has changed. It's that you've switched something on, something that's been dormant. Then comes the most unsettling realization. You were never alone. While you slept, something else stayed awake, watching you, waiting for you to stop mocking the invisible and claim your place. There's no turning back now. If you've read this far, something has already been activated. You can feel it in your skin, that electric discomfort. It's not anxiety, it's recognition. Your body knowing you're about to break the cycle. Not everyone is ready. Some will laugh. Others will call it absurd. That's fine. This isn't for everyone. Hermes never wrote for the masses, only for those who knew how to look, and you are one of them. Tonight you'll know. But first, prepare the spoon and get ready to step through. This is no longer a hint or a random symbol game. It's the core of it all. Sleeping with a spoon under your pillow is not an esoteric trick or mystical whim. It's a psycho-spiritual reprogramming tool, a code, a fracture in the logic of the world. But to understand it, you must accept something you've avoided your entire life. Your mind is not yours. It's been formatted since you learned to speak, to obey, to behave. You were disconnected from the soul's original language, and that's where Hermes comes in. He wasn't a guide to explain the universe. He was a ciphered manual to help you remember that you are the universe experiencing itself. The symbol of Hermes is the caduceus, two snakes entwined around a central staff. What does that represent? Your spine, your vital energy, your DNA, your inner axis? Two forces forever intertwined. One ascending, spiritual, the other descending, material. You've been lost in between, unaware that true balance comes only when you acknowledge that you are both. So how does that relate to a spoon? Because the spoon, in its simplest form, is a concave mirror. It reflects whatever comes close, but inverted. Here's your first level of depth. The unconscious works the same way. It takes your life experience and reflects it back in symbols, in dreams, in signs. By placing the spoon under your pillow, you're activating that inner mirror, telling your psyche, I'm ready to look at what I've hidden, not what I want to see, but what I've repressed, buried so deeply that I don't even know if it's really me or a fear-mutilated version of myself. And here is where it gets dark. The unconscious never forgets. When you open this portal, yes, a portal, not a metaphor, the first thing that surfaces isn't light, it's shadow. Guilt, shame, rage, fear, everything your conscious mind buried so you could keep functioning. That's the mistake. What you repress doesn't vanish, it rots inside. And that rot takes the form of chronic anxiety, insomnia, panic attacks, silent depression that nobody can trace to a cause. Sleeping with the spoon doesn't create those disorders, it reveals them. Hermes told us, as above, so below, as below, so above. That's the mirror law. Everything you see outside is an internal projection. If you don't clean up your reflection, you remain trapped in a labyrinth of symptom without cause. You'll be labeled, medicated, put on pills, when what you really need is to remember who you were before the system made you forget. The spoon is the activator. By sitting under your pillow, right where the subconscious roams free, it becomes a silent but powerful symbol. No interference, no shouting, no imposition, just a nightly reminder that you have unfinished business, that you owe something to yourself, that there's a code waiting to be read. And that code isn't out there, it's in you. What comes next is Ivan's stranger. You start noticing patterns. The same words, the same numbers, the same faces. No, it's not coincidence, it's resonance. Your energy aligns with what you once ignored. What you thought was noise becomes language. It's like learning to read a language that was always there, but you were blind to it. You begin dreaming of symbols, of people you've never met, of places you've never been. And some dreams don't feel like dreams. They feel like memories, but not of this life. Then you realize something terrifying. Your soul has lived more times than your ego can accept. The spoon not only activates the unconscious, it opens your soul memory channel, and everything changes, because there the illusion of time shatters. You understand that the past isn't behind you, the future isn't ahead of you. Everything happens simultaneously in layers only your awakened consciousness can traverse. The more you sleep with the spoon, the more your mind trains to operate in those layers. Your energetic sensitivity sharpens, intuition becomes acute, you anticipate events, you dream occurrences that later manifest. No, it isn't witchcraft, it's spiritual neuroplasticity. The spoon's material and shape act as a resonator. It doesn't matter if it's steel, silver, or even wood. What matters is your intention, the contract you sign with yourself when you place it there. You're telling the universe, I'm willing to look inside, even if what I see hurts. I'm ready to reclaim my inner vision and light that lamp that's been dark for centuries. And the universe always responds, not with fireworks, but with silence, with symbols, with tests. After a few nights, discomfort sets in. Your body rebels. You have heavy, dense dreams, nightmares, nights waking up drenched, confused, but that's part of the process. It's your soul clearing the basement. Before you can remember your power, you must take out the trash. You cannot become an alchemist if you still carry the poison you inherited. Hermes knew this. That's why he encoded it, so only the brave would understand, teaching how to separate the subtle from the dense with skill and care. That is the alchemy of sleep, separating what you are from what you were made to believe you are. And the spoon is the scalpel, the tool that helps you cut the invisible membrane between the constructed self and the real self. Don't be fooled. This isn't New Age fluff or cheap law of attraction. This is pure archetype, deep psychology. Jung understood it. Dreams are the letters your soul sends each night, but almost nobody reads them. They ignore them, discard them, or worse, fear them, because the soul doesn't speak in words. It speaks in symbols, And symbols show you what is, not what you wish. If you're hearing this, it's because something in you already knew, because you felt it, because you were seeking without knowing exactly what. And now it's right in front of you. A spoon, a pillow, a different night. A message waiting for you in that space between dream and memory. Are you ready to open it? Because once you do, you'll never look at the world the same way. You won't be able to keep pretending everything is coincidence, that your anxiety is just stress, or that your nightmares mean nothing. You won't be able to run from what you are. Because when you open that door, even with a spoon under your pillow, the soul becomes visible. And when the soul is visible, the persona you've played your whole life begins to crumble. That's where the real vertigo begins. You realize your decisions weren't yours. Your path wasn't chosen by you. Your pain isn't just yours, but a legacy you never questioned. And when you see it, truly see it, time stops and you understand. Do you see why Hermes spoke in codes? Why his teachings were written only for those willing to die before waking? Because what dies here is not the body, but the lie you wore like a second skin. This isn't about quick enlightenment. It's about responsibility. Every night when you rest your head on the pillow, you'll know you have a choice. You can close your eyes and sleep as always, or you can enter. You can ask the question that changes everything. What is my soul trying to tell me tonight? And if you do truly ask it, prepare yourself. An answer will come, not in words or sentences, but in symbols, in sensations, in certainties you can't explain, yet feel so intensely that your world will start to lose its power over you. And that, my friend, is freedom. Not the shallow freedom to do whatever you please, but the real freedom of needing no external validation, of fearing no depth within, of facing your shadow without blinking. Sleeping with a spoon under your pillow is not for luck or money, nor for sweet dreams. It's for reclaiming the soul. And whoever reclaims their soul reclaims their life. So do it, tonight. But do it with intention, with presence. Don't expect instant miracles. Look for signs. Notice what stirs inside when you dare to invoke what you've avoided. And if you feel something shift, something activate, something within you open like a book sealed for centuries, do not ignore it. Write it down. Record it. Share it. Here's the challenge for those who've reached this far. I know not everyone will. Leave a key phrase in the comments. I have remembered the language of symbols. Write it so others know they are not alone. Because when many activate the symbol, the veil begins to tear collectively, and alchemy ceases to be myth and becomes destiny. Subscribe if you're ready to keep opening these doors, because what comes next cannot be taught, only traversed. And we will traverse it together. Ready? Then rest. Tonight your training begins. But remember, Hermes doesn't answer those who only observe. He answers those who act. Will you act tonight or remain asleep?